From Transport Topics in Washington, D.C., this is RoadSigns. And now here's your host, Michael Fries.
Thank you for listening to RoadSigns, the podcast series from Transport Topics that explores the trends and technologies that are shaping the future of trucking. In the trucking industry, as with any industry, there are several words and phrases that describe current market conditions. And arguably, one of those many words that resonates with the industry is shortage. We're hearing a lot about the food shortage in the grocery store segment. There's a chip shortage putting strain into the supply chain. And let's not forget about the driver and technician shortage. In today's episode, we're dealing with the auto technician, at least the quest for an auto technician. And we'll ask the question, how will the trucking industry fill its auto technician gap and attract potential workers? For these answers, we'll speak with Ana Salcido, Technician Recruitment Manager for Navistar, later in the program. But first, we'll speak with Technology and Maintenance Council Chairman Stacy Earnhardt, who stopped by to discuss the topic and more at our Transport Topics Roadshow booth during the TMC Fall meeting in Cleveland in September this year. And here's our interview with Stacy.
Welcome to the show, Stacy.
Yeah, Michael, thanks for having me today.
I'm glad to have you on. I definitely want to talk about your time as chairman, but let's talk industry stuff. So, for some time now, the lines of truck equipment and maintenance and technology have blurred. To where we can't even talk about one without mentioning the other. So, serving in the trucking industry as long as you have. And seeing this dynamic, what challenges do you see in the future of maintenance and just involving technology?
I think right now the hot spot for everybody is education, training of our technicians, training of dealership technicians, understanding the product that's coming, whether it's EV, whether it's hydrogen power, whatever the next steps may be. So I think first and foremost we have to get everybody trained up on what our options are, how to meet those requirements in our shops, and be able to, put safe equipment on the road.
And in doing that, just having the, being in the fall meeting and experiencing all of that and just the kind of education and having the techs here, number one, competing in the challenge, earlier during the conference and just them having, the study groups to get all that knowledge. How has that been, just kind of experiencing that, and just kind of what are the feedbacks you've been receiving from the fellow techs?
So I think the feedback has been great. There's been a lot of great education for them to receive while they're here. There is, typically a training program that we put on for them after they do the super tech, and so the feedback's been great, and I think it's just one of the stepping stones we have to have in the industry to be efficient.
Speaking of techs, one of the things with techs, and it can be referred to microchips, parts, and drivers. We're talking about the shortage within the industry, and the techs are no different to filling that despair. TMC has partnered with others to assuage that gap and finding qualified techs. What can the industry do to find new talent committed to a career in auto technology? But also, what can the industry do to keep those people in the field and have them engaged enough to continue that career?
So I think there's a couple things to that. First, this is National Truck Driver Appreciation Week, right? So next week will be National Technician Appreciation Week, and I think we have to highlight that, spotlight that, and continue to show that there is more to the industry than just simple mechanic type process. A technician today is a highly skilled, very good with computers and diagnostics and that type of stuff is what you have to have. So I think spotlighting them that there is more to the career than simple just changing oil, that type of stuff. Number one. Number two, I think everybody's trying to find a new way to essentially reinvent the wheel, right? And with that, I think it becomes the spotlight on the industry and where we're going, from where we've been, where we're going to, what the next levels are, how highly intelligent this whole industry has become, and we have to find a way to spotlight that. I think it comes middle school up that we have to start in that process, and so that's I guess my takeaways and initiatives of that.
Oh, I mean, yeah. I mean, one of the things is, like as I was mentioning before, just kind of those lines blurred. With a technician. I mean, people who aren't in the industry would think, a technician would be somebody with a wrench, where in reality, it's somebody with with the smart pad. With the, doing diagnostic, maintenance. So, you're trying to find that, gap, to fill that gap into, attracting a whole set of people or a whole generation that might not be privy to the money that could be made being an auto technician, and just the interest that might be there. There's been a lot of, I mean, there's stuff that the council is doing. There's stuff that the state associations are doing as well. So I mean, but I know you've been involved in that. What have you been hearing from there, and are there some surprises, encouraging surprises that you've seen in getting new talent?
I mean, I do feel like the tech schools and high schools are opening, and maybe society as a whole are opening their eyes a little bit more to the industry. The current situation, pandemic we've been in, good or bad, has actually drawn some spotlight and attention to our industry, because, as we've always said, we truly do move America. So maybe continue to build from that in those tech schools, and at that different level continues to help that.
And in those experiences, in the midst of those experiences, you've been chairman for a little more over a year now. What were your major takeaways from being TMC chairman?
So right now, the strength of TMC in the industry is my biggest takeaway. Whether it was Zoom meetings, we actually did the virtual meeting last year, even earlier this year, and to see how TMC and our industry bands together to continue to grow, continue to strive for better in those times of adversity is amazing, and proud to be part of that, and know that we all have a solid future because of it.
Before I get you out of here, you spoke about just kind of the Zoom meetings, and and the year that you had as chairman. Surprise, we've had a pandemic in the middle of that. What was that? How has that transition been like? Just kind of, I mean, you have this new, you have the new position, and then just kind of going from Zoom meetings to just meeting people face to face, and being at the conference, at the fall conference, where you're finally meeting people face to face. I mean, can you elaborate on that?
So I was certainly ready for it. I think a lot of the people that are here have the same sentiments, that they were ready for that. It was tough to adapt to. I was very fortunate that at my work location, we were in office every day. We were able to kind of separate and meet the requirements, and so I feel very fortunate to do that. So I've always had the interaction with people through the year, and I know there's a lot of people that did not, but was super happy to be here. Super happy to see this many people here, and feel like it's been done very well and very safe, and ready to grow from that experience.
We've been speaking with Technology and Maintenance Council Chairman Stacy Earnhardt. Mr. Chairman, it is a pleasure having you on.
Great, thank you for having me.
From time to time, an issue commands so much of the industry's attention that it requires a deeper dive, a resource readers can turn to, a Transport Topics special report. We're turning our attention to another big issue, electrification and the key factors that will drive this industry trend. In every case, we're working to provide our readers with information, analysis, and clarity on key issues confronting fleets. One comprehensive resource packed with insights that can give you the edge. Transport Topics invites you to learn more about our special reports. To reserve your copy of the latest special report, visit ttn.ws/electrification.
Next on Road Signs, we have Ana Salcido, Technician Recruitment Manager of Navistar. Welcome to the show, Ana.
Hello, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure to be here with you today.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on Road Signs. Before we get into the work that Navistar is doing concerning the technician shortage, I just want to have your opinion on the broader industry sense of this tech shortage. You yourself, you are the recruitment manager of a company that has a network over, thousands of technicians. And so, just kind of in your opinion, where are the pain points in the struggle to find and retain qualified auto technicians?
Yes, absolutely. As you're aware, the demand for quality heavy duty truck technicians in our industry is growing, and the supply of new entrants into the field has not met the industry needs. We need to understand the facts to identify the pain points. We know that the average age of a technician in our industry is around 50 years old. On top of that, research has shown that between 2011 and 2029, about 10,000 baby boomers are reaching retirement age each day. So the technician shortage is real. Employers, OEMs, fleets, schools, all of us play an important role to ensure we engage with younger individuals. We need to continue building excitement and explain to them why being a technician is a rewarding and is also a lucrative and very satisfying career. And as you know, to engage this younger generation, it is critical to provide continued visibility and education of the trades to build interest and enthusiasm. Getting to meet with the high school students and even with middle schools, we need to get to that level. Gamification and a greater emphasis on technology also play a really important role here. Both technology advancements on the vehicles like electric trucks and the equipment used to diagnose and service these vehicles can also foster greater interest in the industry. Retaining the newer generations to stay in this field also is crucial for Navistar and our dealers. Research shows that 41% of technicians leave the industry within the first 2 years. We are working with our dealers to constantly bring new technologies, processes, and a strong culture where technicians see this career as a viable and exciting career opportunity. And as you know, at the end of the day, it is critical to ensure our customers have the best vehicle uptime. And technicians are the key to ensuring our customers' vehicles are serviced and available as quickly as possible for sure.
In having that, providing that type of service and having that quality type of service to maintain that, what steps is Navistar taking? What steps have you seen to balance that demand for technicians while providing incentives, for those qualified technicians to stay in the fold?
Well, there are several steps that we as an OEM are taking to support our dealer network with recruitment and retention initiatives. From a Navistar standpoint, it is crucial that our international truck and IC bus dealers are provided with best practices to build a culture to attract, engage, retain, and empower qualified individuals. We also encourage dealers to implement these best practices in their shop and dealership culture. I will use this analogy. I'm big on analogies. If you give a person a fish, they can eat for a day. But if you teach them to fish, they can eat for a lifetime. So, our goal here is to give our dealers the tools to develop and support a continued pipeline of qualified and engaged technicians' talent.
That the each one teach one method is very valuable, and it's definitely a proven method. And in these efforts, and that your company has taken, how effective has that been in Navistar, and just having these incentives and doing the things to keep qualified technicians in the company and gaining new talent? How do you feel that's going?
Navistar firmly believes that the technician shortage is a national problem with a local solution. To bridge this gap, we strongly promote partnerships between dealerships and local schools. Navistar has created an activation guide for dealers with step-by-step guidance on how to build relationship with schools and what to bring to recruiting events. We also encourage our dealer network to engage and partner with local schools to collaborate to ensure training, technology, and tools are optimized for the students and instructors. From our 700 dealer locations we have in the country, we have several service managers participating in school advisory boards so dealers can understand the needs of these educators and be present for them. Our dealers are actively participating at the schools, introducing career opportunities. Career path is huge for our students. We hear it from the AAC Education Foundation that the younger generations need to understand what is the career path, what is the roadmap. So this is helping them create a pipeline of entry level technicians. And in response to this industry and our dealer network ongoing need for qualified service technicians, we created a multi-channel recruitment approach that is called Tech Empowerment, which includes several work streams to support our dealer recruitment and retention strategy. And we have successfully provided workshops to our dealers where we meet with them to understand their needs. And from there, Navistar develops resources to support them. It is critical that technical schools have the proper tools and equipment to learn accurate processes for servicing these vehicles. So, Navistar has created a program where we donate tools and equipment to facilitate this hands on learning with the latest technology. And through communication and collaboration with our international and IC Bus dealers, we have made 39 donations since last year. When we revamped the program to include our dealers' insight and make it a dealer driven program. So we expanded the scope of the donations to include any material that could help the school during the hands on lifetime. And we are very thankful to be able to contribute to educational programs across the country that provide students with skills and certifications to achieve a meaningful career. We're also very excited about the accelerating pace of the equipment donations. Navistar and our dealer network are fully committed to customer uptime, and having skilled technicians in the service department is a for sure is a key component of that uptime promise.
Well, it's nice to hear that your program, the Tech Empowerment Program, is helping in that regard to assuage that gap that the shortage is bringing on, and bringing interest to the tech field as well. But in doing that, I'm going to ask you to put your analyst hat on again, as you did in the beginning, Anna, and just implementations of all these programs and initiatives that Navistar and other companies such as yourself are doing. How will the dynamic of the technician shortage change for the better or for worse in the next 5 or 10 years?
It's hard to predict what our industry will look like in the next 5 to 10 years, but the technician shortage is also one of the top concerns in our industry, and that is not going away. While the technology on the vehicles and the tools used to service those vehicles in the shop will certainly change, the need for individuals to complete that service will continue. In to address the qualified technician challenge, our industry needs to continue to develop partnerships between service providers and educators. And that's done through fostering relationships and also providing the necessary tools and equipment to facilitate and learn proper service processes. It is going to be critical to teach younger generations and reach them entering the workforce who are native technology users through gamification and in-bay tools such as virtual reality and augmented reality to encourage interest in the industry. There is no a single solution that will help with the shortage because it comes with complexities. Navistar and the International Truck and IC Bus Dealer Network are committed to addressing these challenges and developing technician talent for the long haul.
We've been speaking with Ana Salcido, Technician Recruitment Manager of Navistar. Anna, it was a pleasure having you on the show.
Thank you.
In times like these, it's crucial to stay informed. Transport Topics is offering all the information you need to make business decisions in these unprecedented times. And in the wake of the many event cancellations and group gatherings, TT ensures a virtual way to consume business content and conversation. To join the conversation and stay ahead of the news, follow Transport Topics on all social outlets or by visiting ttn.ws/stay informed.
Before we close, let's take a moment to revisit our original question. How would the trucking industry fill its auto technician gap and attract potential workers? First, we'd like to thank our guest, Ana Salcido of Navistar, and TMC Chairman Stacy Earnhardt for joining us this episode. Recruiting is a challenging endeavor, as we heard from our guests. From Ana Salcido's perspective, the main priority is to meet potential technicians where they are, in the schools and communities. She touched upon the efforts of Navistar in working with its dealer network and technical schools nationwide to showcase the opportunities and benefits of the technician profession. The TMC, as Stacy Earnhardt explained, has always raised awareness of the auto technician career path and have worked with companies and other organizations to attract new workers. Fleets, OEMs, and other trucking companies have been doing their part in highlighting the pay and benefits. However, more work remains to be done in introducing more women and people of color to a technician career. If you enjoyed this episode of Road Signs, please let others know. Rate us and review us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and wherever you listen to podcasts. If my questions have sparked questions of your own, share them with the Road Signs team or reach me on Twitter at Michael V. Freeze. You can email us at share@ttnews.com. We'll read them and respond daily. And of course, we'll be back in 2 weeks with a new episode of Road Signs. Until then, I'm Michael Freeze. Thank you for listening.